here telling you what to do. We're talking about cultism, which means that which is hidden, or what you call the esoteric tradition. Now, to make ourselves clear on what we're talking about, we're supposed to be educating people now, so you must think of a much more advanced level. When we say that, we mean this with people who's first time hearing it. For every organized religion, there is a mystical side in which the priests used to learn, which didn't have shit to do with what the everyday people got. The everyday people got moralism, which really has nothing to do with spirituality at all. That's just going to place blind, going through a room blind, hoping you don't bump into nothing. And with good behavior, you might be able to get out of this thing. But there's another universal side. So, in Judaism, the esoteric which means what everybody learns, and the esoteric is which the priests learn. So in Judaism, the exoteric is the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, and what you call Judaism, which is coming out of Africa, you know. The esoteric is Kabbalistic, the Kabbalah, which is the esoteric Hebrewism. In Christianity, you have the Bible and the Christian thing, and then 12,000 different denominations. But the esoteric Christianity, which has been killed off, was Gnosticism. In Islam, you have the Quran, and you have Islam, but you have esoteric Islam, which is Sufism, which is in actuality, in its real phase, is more science. That's the real shit. Because Sufi means woolly-haired one. Sufi. Woolly-haired one. So woolly-haired one was me. It was the Moor. So anytime you hear the practice saying Sufism, that was just an adjective to explain it. You see, the person is the Moor. A good book on the Lord's science, and on the Sufism, People of the Secret. People of the Secret. Ernest Scott. A must-read, a master of the English language. But he said, Sufis in Spain. You know he's talking about the Lord. But Suf means woolly-haired one. So the esoteric teachings of Islam is Sufism, which is actually advanced more science. Ancient Egypt, that's all esoteric because those are what you call ancient cultures. But your 3 major ones, so Buddhism, the esoteric Buddhism would be your yogi system. The exoteric would be Buddhism. You must understand there's a difference between the esoteric and the exoteric. So if shit starts sounding strange, you must understand that you are dealing with the esoteric. You understand what I'm coming from? First of all, when I use curse words, you must understand that there's no such thing as a curse word or blasphemy or whatever, because when the English language was put down, the ancient stuff was already here. So that means when the ancient material, or what you call the ancient concept of God gave so-called laws, the English language hasn't been invented, so how the hell can the English language be a curse word or something that God didn't give a damn about? You understand? So we want to get that straight for the people who hung up on, you know, a little bit of semantics that really don't really mean anything at this particular time. So now, dealing with that, we're going to go into the hard copy, which is in fact, the hard copy is in fact what's going on right now, today, and then as we work our way on up, we go to the esoteric teachings. But first on the news, let's understand something. In January or February, the Coca-Cola company put out a soda called Surge. And I think it was the spirit that made them put it out in January. Because if they would have put the Surge out in the summer, they might have did a lot of damage to black people, especially children. This Surge, I drank some of this Surge, which I ain't had no business doing, but you know how nigga is. I drank some of this Surge, and my shit was green for 3 days. And this, green. Now, as you know, and I don't want to gross you out, but as you know, you don't get that green out of sweet, something like a blue popsicle or some kind of stuff like this, you know, and stuff, you know. But for a soda to have your stuff green for 3 days, you know that's some powerful stuff. Also, one of my friends who was not conscious at all just came up and said the Spirit just told him that's something they put out to kill the black man and black woman. And he just said, you know how you got some people, grandmama sitting on the porch. We don't know where it comes from, but when it comes, you know it's right. We've gotten away from that. We've lost that innocence. So there's certain people that's not into knowledge. And when they say something, they don't know where it came from. It just comes because the Spirit tells them that. Right? And this brother that has no consciousness whatsoever just said, I believe that's something that the Spirit told me that that's something to put out to kill the black man and black woman. But he also said he was drinking a bottle of this surge. And he bit into some food, and it had a chemical reaction in his mouth and burnt the side of his mouth, his jaw. So now this can do this to a 37-year-old grown man. What do you think this can do to a person? 2, especially, black people. You can give your children that kind of stuff. So it's very key because it was interesting because I said this last week in a lecture, and a brother said that he was talking to some white boys and they were sitting around the table, and the white boys told him that Coca-Cola was trying to put out something that was going to mess up some people. So, probably drinking it by itself probably won't do nothing. But then again, you don't know what the long-term effects that things have when you come down with something. Something can stay in your system that long. You know what I'm saying? So very key to understand that at this particular time. I want to deal with a couple of things on the top of the agenda. First of all, Puff Daddy, which is, probably one of the less talents in the world. Here's the man that take a whole album of somebody's shit. He just go in and take a whole album, play a whole song, and then people put their face in the middle of the camera, and he making money off this thing. He ain't even trying to mix it up on a clever style. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, he getting ready to do a memorial piece for Princess Diana. For Princess Diana. Downtown Atlanta, they're selling these Tupac t-shirts, selling Biggie Small t-shirts, and Princess Diana t-shirts. Now, first of all, we must understand what in the devil does Princess Diana have to do with us? First of all, you got to understand the signs on what's really going on. And that is this. The whole Princess Diana thing down was a conspiracy. They told her not to marry that sand nigga. She was going to marry the sand nigga, which was an Arab, came up with a black man, and was going to have to convert to Islam. Because that was a high up princess. Whatever that thing. So she had to convert to Islam. Reverend Valentine can tell you the real scoop on this thing, because he got it down to a science as far as the underground methods of what this raw fight was about. But I want to look at the spiritual implications on how does this affect us. First of all, we understand that world imperialism is not solely America, but we understand that the grandfather of world imperialism is England. You understand what I'm saying? It's England. We're talking about the biggest slave traders known to man. Dr. Ben told you, Dr. John E. McClark told you, that they were kept out of the slave trade for 100 years, and when they got into it, they took it over and made sure nobody else got into it. Right. So the spiritual part is, we're talking about world imperialism or world domination breaking down. This is the spiritual part about it. We're talking about, the other Bible said, you'll know the end or you'll know the time is over when the masters or the people that's ruling start accusing each other and start infighting among each other. So you got American royalty, which is this new southern version of Camelot, which you had the Irish version, which is the Kennedy thing, and that broke down. But this new southern version of Camelot is the so-called Clinton. But every week they got some stuff on all of that. So you talk about a family fight going on around the world. You see. So if it got to the point that they had to take her out, that means there's a break in the system, because you don't hear too much from England, the grandfather. You see what I'm saying? Which is the chief beast. Which, if you know anything in history, the world isn't set. The sun don't set on the British Empire, which meant that everywhere you've been around the globe, Britain had a ownership on some piece of the land of the people. So we're talking about an imperialistic monster. And when you get to a point on the royal level that you have to start taking people out, you know that that particular system is breaking down. And we should actually rejoice, because that's spiritual. You got to understand the signs that's actually going down at this particular time. It's very spiritual that you understand that. Now, we understand some other things that they're playing tricks on us. They announced 2 days before October 26th about there might be another stock market crash. And then a week later, somewhere around the Million Woman March, and right after that, you started having this stock market crash. The key is, this is nothing spiritual. This is a test run that they got their hands in, and somewhere down the line, when they had a computer glitch, and all your records get wiped out, and all the money goes back to the United States government, because on this money, as you know, if your face ain't on this, you don't own it. So this is a test run to when this money goes back to the United States government, or what they call this promissory note of this loan. So therefore, anytime they predict something one week and the next week it happens, you know that they're trying to test this whole thing on how they can get away with doing it. Now they also talk about the computer glitch that's supposed to happen somewhere in 1999, the year 2000. But I hope we don't get to that, because I don't even live on that day-to-day basis. On that year-to-year basis, I live day-to-day. That's how you know what's going on. We'll explain that in a few minutes. But the key is, they've already announced that they got this thing in 1999, the computers are going to all just delete the thing, delete the information, because it was only built for the year 2000. But yet they got about 3 or 4 white boys, and I know 2 or 3 black people that can fix this thing, but they're still going ahead with it, because that's a part of the plan. To basically, all ownership of material wealth goes back to the country who issued the shit in the first place. You see what I'm saying? Now, first of all, we must understand as black people that there's no such thing as you making it. That's bullshit. First of all, this is the game. They had, if you ever work in a department store, a big department store, one that has money, they have what is called shrinkage figures, or they have money set aside for theft every year. So every time you steal some shit, they make money. You know what I'm saying? They got money set aside for theft. So in actuality, it's lucrative for you to go in there and steal some stuff, because the insurance companies, you see, pay off. The American government understood that they said that masses of black people will be poor. But we got enough jobs in America set aside for the people under the Freedom Bureau Act of Reconstruction, of what you call the so-called upward mobile. So any black person saying, you know, I made it on my own, you didn't understand. You just took advantage of an opportunity that the simple fact that they had to sit set aside for a certain group of black people to make it automatic. You understand where I'm coming from? Damn, I should have got me some honey. I don't know if I might get horse or what. But anyway, they got money set aside. Or they have a certain amount of jobs and opportunities set aside. That is to make you think that America works for your ass. And to shift and separate a two-class society that you say, them motherfuckers out there ain't shit, they lazy or whatever the type deal is, because I made it. And you didn't understand that it's not set up for everybody to make it. You got to understand how the game is played. They had already set this whole thing up for the upward mobile, or what we call the black bourgeoisie, or the black educated, since 1865. The only thing you're doing is trying to think you capitalizing on the world, but you actually capitalizing on something that was allotted for your ass in the first place, which in actuality, it keeps everybody in slavery. You understand what I'm saying? And as I said before, what the 1965 Act was, and for the people that never hear this, that in actuality, the only reason why you're in the corporate world now is because from slavery up until 1965, they had stolen 98% of the technology in America came from black people and was theft. They actually stole things. The cordless phone, I mean, there's thousands of things. As a matter of fact, if you go to Wayne State University in Detroit, they got drawers of just documents on shit that was stolen from people, black people, and then everything in this country, the rudiments. You know what the rudiment is? Yeah. They like improve it, because everything about the leaf wants to come on the market. But the blueprint of the original rudiment for the computer or any damn thing was invented by black people. The foundation. So they were going into a technological age in the 60s. They said, hey, look, we cannot steal from these people haphazardly anymore. We have to steal from them on a greater level. So therefore, we must have a small group of them to enter into the corporate world, and we can steal from them legally. We just call a motherfucker a job, and you just put the shit on their desk on Monday morning. Give up the shit. For 1916, at that particular time, $12,000 a year. Now, 20, 30, 40, but you give up all the secrets for free of charge, and they make billions all right. So they had to find another advanced way to steal projects from you. Because they know that you have the archetypal blueprint for all technology in the melody. Now the key is, I was doing a conference in Philly week before that. This was the same met a brother, and up under the Lincoln Center in Philadelphia, they have these machines, these space-age looking machines. And probably the people that build them, when the machines break down, they know the people that build them, they might have to fly in from Germany somewhere. So they can't do it. So what they'll do is they'll go outside and just find a damn black man off the street. Or a black mechanic-minded man. And these people can come in, look at it, don't know what the shit it is, and fix the shit. So they say, the brother say, they call me up, I would come down. He said, these strange machines look like something in another era, 2,000 years from now. He said, I don't know, I just will look at it, and just will fix it. That's how you got first black mechanics and shit. He said, I think just like if you see, he can play by ear. Same shit. You got some people that mechanically minded, they can just look at some shit and fix it. That's the melanin. So they can go and get a nigga off the street with a bull can in his hand, sew that motherfucker up and bring him up in there. He look at it and say, I can fix that. Go get the movie Doc Hollywood. And look at the black man, he was a mechanic. He just looked at the car and say, I can fix that. So this guy used to fix these machines, so one day he said, I'm not gonna fix them no more. They said, okay, cool. You'll never work again. You can't work no